Hello everyone, I am Neelam Choudhary, your host for the web series Django Project Based Learning. So, in this series, you will learn Django with the help of the project. So, before we jump into today's topic, do me a favor. Give that like button a quick tap, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I hope you have subscribed my channel. So, if you have subscribed, let us begin with today's topic.
So today we will be talking about the validations, how we can apply our own validations in a form or how to validate our form we are going to see. I have used the same project that I have used in the model form. Let me quickly show you the project so that we can start with the validation. So in this project, I have included my application app1 in the settings.py file. Then I've included the URL in the project itself because I'm having only one URL. So whenever somebody is going to click on the home page, it will call a function home, and this function has been created within the application in the views.py file. This function is doing what? It is rendering your form. So since I have created the form with the help of the model, first I have created a model of student which is having these fields. Then I have run pymanage.py make migrations and pymanage.py migrate command. After that, I have registered the model as well so that I can see it on the admin panel. I have already created a super user. Then I have created a form with the help of the model form. Okay. So this is the project. Now let us see what is happening over here. So whenever somebody is going to click on the home page or whenever they are going to hit the URL, this function will get called and it will check whether the method is a post or a get method. Whenever you hit the URL, for the first time it will always be a get request. So it will come over here. Since it is not a post request, it will come in the else block, create an object of that particular class, and it will call the home.html page and it will pass your data in the form of a dictionary. And in the in the home.html page, which I have created within the application. Okay. So over here, we have created the form, and whenever you will fill all the data in the form and you will click on the submit button, the action has been left blank, means it will call the same URL, means the same function will be called again, and the method that I've specified is post. So means the same function will be called again. This time the method would be post. So again it will create the object of that particular form, but this time it will take all the data which is coming from the form, and then either you can directly save the form. If you are using the model form, then what is going to happen? The Django form will be related to the model. You can directly write fm.save, or if you are using the Django form, that is your form is not associated with any database, then what you will do? You will take the individual field with the help of the request.post like name, email and phone. You will store it any variable. Then you will create an object of the model student, and then you will store in that this particular variables. And then after you have created the object, you will write s.save. Okay, that is object.save, which is going to save that particular form in your database. Okay, so you can go for this approach or this approach depending upon which kind of form you have used. Okay, so this is the output of the project. Now what I will do, I will write some data over here and I will try to submit that data, and I'll click on submit. It is giving me the error @ please include @ in the email address. Now this is coming from the client side. This is called as client side validation or the browser side validation. But we do not want this validation. We want the server side validation. That is a Django validation. So what we will do, we will come over here and in the form tag, we will write no validate. Means now browser validation has been off and the server validation has been applied. Okay. So now let us come over here. Let us write some data again. Click on submit. The data is getting saved. Let me write some incorrect data now. click on submit. It is giving me the validation, enter a valid email address. Let us see in the backend. See, even if the data is incorrect, it is getting saved in your database. Okay, that is why we are supposed to validate a form. So if you are having a form and if the user is not giving a correct data, and if you have not validated that form, then what is going to happen? That invalid form will get saved in your database. Do you want these things? No. That is why we should always validate our data. Okay, how we will validate, we'll see. Now suppose instead of this you have used this approach, then what is going to happen? Let us see that as well. So let us come over here. Let me refresh it. Let me fill some data over here, incorrect data. Submit. The student could not be created because the data did not validate. Okay. So in this approach, what it will say, that if you want to save the data in the database, kindly validate it first. So over here, the validation is compulsory. Okay. So understood why we are going for the validation. So now let us validate our data. How do we validate? We will write if fm dot is valid. The same object name you will give it, which you have given over here. Okay, fm. So if it is valid, then only you will save it in the database. And if it is not valid, you can write the code for that. If it is valid, then save it. Else, you write whatever you want. Okay. Let us come over here. Let us refresh it. So if the data is valid, let me give some more data. Yeah, 22. First, let us see what is the data that I have in the backend. Let me delete all the data. So if the data is valid, it will get saved in the backend. And if the data is not valid now, and I will click on submit, it is giving me enter a valid email address. This time it is not throwing the error. Okay, like previous. Also, suppose I am going to use this approach. What was happening earlier? It was saving the data in the database. Now I am writing valid. Okay. Now for this approach, let me click on submit. Again, it is saying enter a valid email address. Is it been saved in the database? No. Again, let us see. Is it saved in the database? No. So this time, if the data is not valid, it will not save in your database. This loop will not get executed. Understood? Now, there is one more thing. Whenever we validate our data, that data gets saved in a dictionary named as clean data. Let us see. We can write print fm. For that object, a dictionary will be created, clean data. Let us access that and let us see what this dictionary will have. Okay. Now, let me give some proper data over here. And let me click on submit. See. So I'm getting that clean data. So the clean data is a dictionary which is having the fields of that particular form. What are the fields? Name. This form has been created from model, so the fields would be same. Name, email and phone. See, name, email and phone, and the values of that key are the value that you have written inside the form. Okay. So what we can do, either we can write request.post name, or we can write in the variable name, fm.cleaned data is a dictionary. From that dictionary, get the value of the key name. So this and this are what? Same. So somewhere you will see some people are writing like this way. Somewhere you will see the people are writing like this way. Both the codes are correct. This is what, after you validate your data, a clean data dictionary will be formed. And from that dictionary, you are taking your data. So you are taking a clean data from the clean dictionary. Understood? So now let us come over here and let us see how we can apply the validations. These are the validation which is provided by what? By your Django. like the email should have @sign, how the name should be, how the phone number should be. But suppose you want to apply your own validation, like the email should have @yahoo.com. If it is not having @yahoo.com, it will give you the error. Okay. So how to apply your own validation? You will come over here in the forms. You will create a method f clean the name of the field. Since I want to apply on the email field, I am writing email self. This is individual validation that I'm applying for the different field. So you will create an object from the self dot cleaned data. You will take the email field and you will check if not @yahoo.com in em field, then raise the forms dot validation error. Email should contain @yahoo and then return em. Okay. So what I'm doing over here, for the email field, I'm taking the clean data, okay, from this dictionary, storing it in this variable, then checking whether that field has @yahoo.com or not. If it does not have, it will raise a validation error. If it has, it will just return that object. So let us see the output. So let me hard refresh it. So over here, let me try to add the gmail.com. See, email should contain @yahoo. So you have applied your own validation to the email field. Similarly, you can apply for the first name, email, phone number, whatever validations that you want to apply. Okay. Suppose you want to apply to the multiple fields or to the form together, then there is one more approach that you can follow. You will write def clean self. Okay. I will comment this. Suppose for the name field, let me apply. First of all, I will write cleaned data is equal to super dot clean. So we get the clean data from the parent class. After you have the data, suppose I want to apply the validation on the name field. I will write self dot clean data for the name field. And similarly, I want to apply for the email field as well. And then you will write if, let us see if the name first character starts with N or not. Okay. If NM 0th character is not equal to suppose N, then you want to raise the validation error. I'll copy from here. And the error that I want to raise is what? Does not starts with N. Similarly, for the email, suppose I want to have the same, I'll copy and paste it over here. Okay. So what I'm doing over here, I'm applying the group validation. Okay. For which fields I want? I want for the name field and the email field. So I'm taking the data of those fields from the clean data and storing it in the variable nm and em. Now, if the name field 0th index is not equal to n, then it will raise a validation error. And if the email field does not start with yahoo.com, again it will raise a validation error. Okay. So let us see this. Okay. So let me write the name as Priya, which does not starts with N. Let me write the Gmail as priya@gmail.com and phone number. Okay. Let us first see, do we have this data in your database? Let me delete it. Okay. Now let us come over here. Let us click on submit. See, does not starts with N. So it is raised this validation error and it is stopped over there. That is why I'm not getting this validation error, because as soon as it does not contain N, it will raise this validation error. Okay. So check in the database. Is the data saved? No, because it has not been validated. Okay. Now again, suppose it starts with N, and then if I'll click on submit, again it is raising the validation error. Email does not contain @Yahoo. This time this has been, it is not raising any validation error over here. So this time over here we are not getting any error, but over here I'm getting the error. That is why I'm getting email should contain @Yahoo. Okay. So I hope you have understood how you can apply your own validation for the individual fields we have seen. If you want to apply for the multiple fields, that also we have seen. There is also a custom validators that we can write. Okay. Like this way. From Django.core import validators. Okay. Then let me create test. If it starts, you will check whether it starts with N. Okay. Same, whatever I have given over there, same I want to apply. What is the code here? I'll copy this code. I'll paste it over here. So I have created a function that will check. You will provide some value to this function and it will check whether the value 0th index is equal to N or not. If it is not equal to N, it is going to raise a validation error. So if I want to apply this to the name field, okay, or email field, let us apply to the email field. So now come over here. We want for the email field. So we will write email forms. This field will come from the models.py file, okay, because it is a form which is created from model. And since it is an email field, I will write email field, and the validator that I want to apply is my own validator that I have used, that is starts with. There is built-in validators as well that we can use. So now let me fill some data over here. Suppose Neelam g@gmail.com. I'm not starting with N, so it should give me the error. Okay. Does not starts with N. So I have applied a custom validator over here for the email field. So what is happening over here? I have applied this validator. So this value will be the email value which will be passed over here. It will check if it is starting, okay, 0th index is equal to N or not. If it is not equal to N, it will raise a error. Okay. So we have seen 3 ways to apply the validations. So we can have our built-in validators as well. Like if you want to take the example done over here, I have imported the built-in validator, that is maximum length validator. I've applied to the field name, okay, which is forms.character field. Then validator is what? Maximum length validator is what? 5. So it can take maximum 5 character, not more than that. So let us see the output. Let us refresh it. Let me write for the name field how many characters it can take. 5. Okay. For the email field, let me write this. And for the phone number, let me write this and click on enter. Okay. Ensure this value has at the most 5 character. It has 11. So in this video, we have seen it is very important to validate your form, because if you will not validate your form, it may get saved in your database, incorrect data, and Then also we have seen how we can apply our own validation to an individual field, to a group field, and custom validators have to create. We have even seen the built-in custom validator. Okay. So I hope you have understood this. If you are liking the project, or if you have any special project that you want to create in a Django, you can write down in the comment box and I will create that project as well. I also create a project for the final year students. So if you have any requirement, you can write down on the codingumbrella@gmail.com. I will connect with you guys. If you're really liking my channel, kindly subscribe my channel because I'm giving a lot of efforts. I'm putting a lot of efforts in this channel. Okay. I will be coming with the next video very soon. Till then, bye bye. Enjoy. Happy coding.